Right now, all I got pretty much is him self-defense. I mean, you see a bunch of y'all bikers bang on his car. I can see the damage to his truck.
Yeah, he pulled the gun before there was any damage to his truck.
He didn't shoot it. No, I mean, he didn't point at anybody. Did he point at you?
He held it up in the air and said, he threatened me with a firearm.
Did he point it at you?
He didn't point it directly at me, but he pointed it in the air like it was a split second. I think he chambered around. I don't know. But
he pulled the sludge.
But he didn't point at anybody.
He pointed it in the air and said, "Motherfucker, do you want to mess with me?"
Let's be honest. Is anybody honestly banging on the truck?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Damage.
Did they talk to us?
Right.
Do
you guys all have your IDs back? You're done
Is
giving
she still here? Okay.
I don't mind if you go. This is a non-hostile situation.
Hey, y'all continue biking. You better be careful, man.
Yeah.
Keep having incidents like this all night.
Yeah, well,
I mean, you'd hope that people would just,
We do this all the time, and people roll down the window and they call.
Still, man, you also run lights and stuff, man. Causing incidents like
This had nothing to do with it.
I have no idea.
This was complete insanity.
You understand the criteria of somebody pulling a gun at you. Somebody pulls a gun and puts it in the air, changes around. I mean, that's not really the criteria for it. It's usually aggravated assault if he points a gun at you.
Really?
Because you're pointing a gun at you.
Even if he threatens me with the gun, saying, do you want to mess with me?
Even if he says that.
Really?
He points a gun at you for aggravated assault. I mean, we could write them up and let the detectives see what they want to do with it.
Yeah, I want to make sure that...
See if they can stretch it, but I doubt it. It's not actual criteria. Because anybody can
Right. I mean, for what just happened to me, I was riding my bike peaceably.
You understand? It's two sides to every story.
Oh yeah, totally.
Two sides to every story.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, one side of the story has a gun and threatens me with it.
Texas, man. Everybody got guns nowadays.
Do you know if he has a concealed carry permit?
He does have a permit.
Right in front of Antone's.
So, dude, what happened?
100 plus bike riders.
Yeah.
This guy's swerving through us at like 30 miles an hour. People
This guy
dodging
here
out of
was?
his way. Yeah, the guy who they're about to let go.
The truck? The
Yeah.
Chevy? Ah.
I'm passing him on his left. I go, dude, calm the fuck down.
I saw the bikers.
Click, click, motherfucker, do you want to mess with me? Picks up. Yeah. Probably. They haven't done any sobriety test yet. He seems on some kind of drug. I don't think drunk. I think like some kind of pills or something.
Pills or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, they're about to let him go on the criteria that his rear window is broken.
You guys got my deed, right?
I got my identifier.
I can present it again if you like.
No, it's okay. I don't think he's written it down. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The damage to his truck, the broken windshield, there's some dents and some really hard points in that truck. And then he has a puncture wound in the sidewall of his tire. Do you know how any of that occurred?
I don't. My guess is that people hit his car with locks.
With locks. How about the puncture wound in his tire?
I have no idea.
Okay, locks that are heavy enough that can do enough damage to actually.
I haven't even seen.
This is a portion that's dented, and that's really hard to dent.
Yeah.
And how about the puncture wound in his tire? Do you know how that happened?
I have no idea.
Can you surmise? Can you guess how that happened? Possibly a knife, probably.
I'd say either a knife or him swerving and he hit several bikes, so it could have been when he hit one of the bikes.
I ride a bike, so you know what part on a bike could put a puncture wound about that big in a thick sidewall of a mud tire?
I'd go with this, the sprocket. If you hit,
Trust me, I looked at it. It's not a sprocket. That would leave a way different, and it wouldn't go all the way through a sidewall.
All I know is
the
that
sprocket would be so damaged that the bike wouldn't be rideable.
I mean, just like you
can't.
can't.
Did you see anybody stab his tires? What I want to know.
No, I did not. Sir, I'm the one who called in. Like, I'm the one he pulled a gun on.
Okay.
And I've got multiple witnesses, their phone numbers. All I know is that personally, you can't speak for every car. I can't speak for every bike. I rode up to the left of him and said, calm the fuck down.
Were you hitting his vehicle?
No, I was not. I at no point touched his vehicle personally. He stops his car, pulls out a handgun, cocks it, holds it in the air, and says, "Motherfucker, do you want to mess with me?"
Did he pull out the handgun before or after people were hitting his vehicle with blocks?
Before I saw any damage occur to his car, he pulled out the gun. I was yelling at friends. I saw his rear window get broken by a lock, and that was after this occurred. I was frantically yelling, "He has a gun. I have his license plate number. I got a photo of it. Let him go." I don't want anyone getting hurt.
At the time that he pulled out his gun, how many people were surrounding his vehicle?
We were riding, and he stopped and pulled out his gun. There wasn't anyone surrounding his vehicle at that point.
He stopped without any provocation.
he saw bicycles, and he knew. I think he knew at that point that he had skimmed one on Guadalupe and was just trying to run away, like after hitting a bike. That's my guess. I don't know what his motivation was, but I know we weren't surrounded. He stopped his car and pulled his gun. He was still moving, you know. Can you tell me what's happening? Like,
Yeah, we're going to investigate this. I mean,
is he being
pulling a
allowed to
gun
drive
on,
off?
on someone who's beating your vehicle with a lock and stabbing your tire with a knife.
He pulled the gun
is
before any of that
self-defense.
happened.
Well, that's going to be investigated because we weren't here to see it. You're the only one here. We have conflicting stories, so
It's not. I mean, there's one guy, the assailant, and then there's 100 witnesses telling you, you know, what happened.
That's one side of the story. You have to understand. He has this side of the story. He was also involved. He had other witnesses around.
I mean,
that aren't on bikes. The other say it's one sided with it's biased because they're all on bikes. They're all together. They're all friends.
I disagree. I mean,
what
that's
we're
like
gonna
saying
do-
that every
what
car
we're
is.
going to do, Sean, is we're going to keep his gun and we're going to turn it in, or we're going to let him go back and get it. But we're going to write this up, and it's going to be it's going to be investigated.
And so he's just going to be allowed to drive away?
He can't drive away, so he's his tire.
The case it's going to be written on them. Write a report about
10.
what happened. 10
851-864?
1824.
10-851-1824. And so he's just going to be free to go?
Yeah, we're investigating.
I mean,
I'm on self-defense right now.
it's self-defense. Even though there's 100 cyclists who all told you this guy was recklessly trying to run them off the road.
Two sides to every story, man.
Okay. 20XBY1.
They were taken out because I remember hearing something. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah. Is there anything else I can do to press charges right now?
Have we already answered that?
No. I mean, do I have any other option? I fear for my life with this guy
So did
being on
he.
the road with a gun. This guy pulled a gun on me.
You could legally carry a gun in your vehicle, right?
Look, I'm the supervisor here. Like I said, this is what I told you. What's going to happen? It's going to be investigated. Okay, you're probably going to need to come in for a statement.
I'd be happy.
He's going to be interviewed. It's all going to be investigated. There are not going to be any arrests made right now. Like I said, we're keeping it. We're seizing his gun. We're going to keep it. He's going to have to go through the proper channels to get it back. So, okay, he's not going to drive away. His truck's damaged beyond repair. There's probably a good chance we've got video evidence of who slashed his tire, and so we're going to seize those. But we're compiling all this evidence right now. We have to get all the information. We give it to our detectives. They sort through it, and they file proper charges.
I appreciate it. Do you know how long it should be until we can hear something?
Oh gosh, something like this. It doesn't happen overnight. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
But for me to give you like an estimate of how long it's going to be, I would be doing you a disservice because if I was wrong,
Yeah.
But as long as you have a good phone number where you can be reached and it's not going to get disconnected, or then they can get a hold of you, then you just sit tight and
Cool.
the wheels will roll. So to
Okay.
speak.
Great. Thanks for your time.